So after an hour of getting ready, we are finally back.
Finally back.
This took way too long. Way too long. 6 years.
Has it been 6?
6 years. 2020. The pandemic.
Yes.
The pandemic.
Yeah, that's when we stopped.
A lot has
A
changed.
lot's changed.
I've cut my hair.
I lost my hair.
A lot has changed. Welcome back to Understated. This is a music show. This is a music show, not a podcast. We got to treat it with that respect. This is a music show where
I'd say we focus on the artist, their impact, and
artists. No, we talk about the artist, the impact, and the music. That's it.
Yeah, the artist, their music, and their music. Yeah, the artist, their impact, and their music. That's what we focus on.
Because this is the return.
This
is the return. We're going to do our best to make this a very streamlined show. Something that, of course, you're going to see the mess ups for sure, as you already noticed for the first minute. But
we're rusty.
We're going to get straight into it. We're going to explain what happened with Understated, what our goal is real quick, and then we know what you guys came for due to the title. Absolutely. So Understated, like we said, came back after 6 years. Life, of course, we got different endeavors of work, our personal stuff, starting business, all that.
Yeah.
So that got in the way. But in those 6 years, we realized that what we were doing, not to throw shade.
No, throw shade.
Yeah, what we were doing, we were on the right path. And we really feel bad for the people that were rocking with us. It was a few, but shit, that few goes a long way. Yeah. So we feel bad for going back, and that pocket that what we were doing hasn't been fulfilled yet.
Yeah, I think the music industry right now, in terms of journalism and the way that music is reported on, I think that it does a bad job of representing or trying to represent artists. I think there's a huge gap because of the way that attention is split. And if we are going to continue to navigate the space of music with AI coming, I think that you need better, I would say better speaking heads about these topics that are looking to delve in and give more of the music community the type of information that they're looking for, and try to really connect with these artists and their projects.
Yeah. So I love that you bring up AI, but I can't go into that. Yeah. It's very important because we're going to be going into a new world, but stay tuned for more videos into that and how that's going to affect the whole industry. So it is May 18th, 2026. Iceman, goddamn, I wish I remember. When was it first announced? We got What Did I Miss?
We got What Did I Miss last July? Yeah,
last July,
episode 1.
Episode 1. So yes, when we talk about, we're gonna divide this into 3 sections so it's easy to follow. The impact, the artist, the music, and then the impact of it. So right now, Drake, he is coming off of the Kendrick Lamar beef. Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef.
Yeah, I would say arguably the biggest beef in hip hop to date, because it led to a Super Bowl performance. And there's a lot of things that were surrounding this particular beef that I don't think most people are aware of. So they think that it's simply a music battle, a rap battle, when it had extended beyond that long before the battle had even fully culminated into Not Like Us and then the Super Bowl stuff. And we're here to speak to that, especially with the album finally Drake getting his opportunity to speak after about 2 years.
Yeah. So piggybacking off of the beef, the reason why this is the biggest beef is, if you're paying attention, not just to the music, you know that now Drake is suing his label, Universal Music Group. He's suing them over the promotion of Not Like Us that had false accusations. The label pushed the song harder for profit and claims defamation and artificial promotion allegations involving streaming/radio promotion. So this raises a number of questions, like industry politics, changes how people view rap beefs, makes the business side part of the conversation. So this is one of those things where if you are a casual music listener, of course this isn't going to relate to you. But again, this is the biggest goddamn beef because everybody knows what's going on. Basically, it's either Drake is suing UMG, or you think Drake is suing Kendrick Lamar. That's what most people are thinking.
And I'd like to bring it down to a basic level so that I feel like people could better understand Drake's position in all of this. Because I think, again, there's the cultural rules around beef and rap battles, and then there's the bigger overarching issue. I look at it as Drake is a brand. And this is simply the equivalent of two people going for a promotion at their job, and then they're both up for the promotion. Drake is considered a top tier employee. Kendrick is a new employee in that capacity in that building, and basically they're both mudslinging with one another. And what ended up happening was, instead of staying neutral, the CEO, if you were to say, or the management decided, you know what, we're going to push Kendrick's rumors a little bit harder than we're going to push Drake's. And because of that, Kendrick got basically all of the benefits that Drake would normally have been entitled to himself, because they pushed Kendrick's rumors throughout the organization a lot harder, so that, and that's what I think Drake is arguing. Is like, hey, yo, we were in alignment for so long. I've been working with y'all. How dare you go and push somebody else's thing that you know would hurt me and hurt our negotiations if I'm going for the same promotion. Essentially, that's what it comes down to. It's like, if you and your enemy are going back and forth for something, and then somehow, some way, they push your enemy's thing over your thing, and you know how they do it, it's like, wait, okay, now I'm going to sue you because...
So that's where we're at right now. That is where Drake is at currently. We're only doing the current event stuff. Yeah. I know there's other stuff, but we're focusing on what is the most current stuff that's happening in Drake's life that relates to the music.
All right, so now Iceman is out. It's been a couple days, and I think everybody, or most people, have had a chance to listen and formulate their opinion. And before we even get into that, I think the elephant in the room needs to be addressed for the casuals and a lot of the podcast circuit. You guys had your 2 years to do your thing.
Yeah.
Like that, I think that's the part of this narrative that doesn't get discussed enough. We know to some degree you guys all have some of the same talking points, and you've been running them to the ground for 2 years. And Kendrick, obviously he won the beef. He had an opportunity to say what he needed to on his album, which came out in November 2024. So to say that Drake is not allowed to speak on something that you guys were speaking on for 2 years, especially on his own project that is the first project that comes out after the beef, I think that's to get in people's minds and try to dictate a narrative in a way that they're always in control, when in reality, it looks like all you guys are in cahoots. And I think more as time passes, those things will become more prevalent, because it reminds me of that video from a few years ago when all of the news reporters, they would show them, because they were owned by the same companies, they would all report the same type of things. It was always the same kind of narrative. It was weird to me that these podcasters, outside of maybe academics and Aiden Ross, who's a streamer, but they don't consider them they don't consider ACK hip hop media, but he was the only one. And I think that everybody should be aware. It's like, how is it that only one person is defending Drake, considering he was a staple in music for over 15 years? What happened? You guys all coordinated to say the same thing. I think that should strike people as odd. And Drake being able to speak on that, I was glad he was able to do it.
Yeah. So Let's do it. So Iceman, it started sometime in July last year. This was one of the best, at least in my lifetime. I'm 26. I would say this was the most excited I've been for an album coming out.
Yeah.
This rollout was what really, not in a bad way, it really carried Iceman. That down to the album, down to the live streams. I watched all the live streams. Okay. And I just thought, even though of course I would tune out, but just how it was delivered, him previewing the music, him getting a community involved, like it was just something that was so of the time, but it didn't feel forced. Yeah. And I really liked how he was able to do it because the dude is, how old is he? Like 40 something?
Nah, I think he's probably 39.
Oh shit. My fault.
Yeah. Nah, I don't think he's 40 yet.
Yeah, but like he's older. So now it's hard for you to, stay of your age, act your age, but still reach the younger folks. And how he did it was just masterfully done. So shout out to him and his team. But he came out with 4 episodes. Remember, I told you he wasn't going to drop the album.
Yeah, I remember.
I told you he wasn't going to drop the album before dropping the last episode.
You said that.
So what we thought was going to be Iceman, it wasn't Iceman. Well, it wasn't just Iceman. He drops 3 projects. This was one of the, I don't like a lot of music. I hate a lot of music. But the way he did it, it was such a surprise. It was, you just had to commend it. And then when you break it down, which we'll do later on, it was strategic, and it was a great way to shut out a lot of the haters and what they've been saying about coming up to this album. A lot of the critiques I've always had with his albums, it was such a great way to just block that out. So let's go with Iceman. So Iceman drops along with Habiti and Maid of Honor. Yes. Habiti is more R&B. I don't really care for that shit. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I listened to that one once. I
got some cuts off of that one. So
I gotta go back to it because you need that on the playlist. You need that on the playlist. Then Maid of Honor. So I'm gonna save the best for last. So Maid of Honor is the second one. Is that his mom on the cover?
I believe so.
That's his mom on the cover. That one is a variety of
dance hall,
I would just say dance music.
Yes,
it's dance music.
It's more of his Gordo type.
You could definitely hear that from Honestly Nevermind. Mm-hmm. And I think Gordo was one of the people that was hyping up this, so it would be surprising if he didn't end up on the album. So then Iceman. So I'm not gonna lie, guys, if you were looking for breakdowns, which I don't think you were, if you were looking for breakdowns for Habiti, you came to the wrong place. We're really gonna be focusing on Iceman.
Yeah, I think for the I will say this. For me, other people love the other Drake albums. I love Iceman as an album in particular because I feel like out of most of Drake's albums, this was the most focused. This was, which is weird for them to say, the comments to kind of be like, it wasn't deep, because I was like, this one was, out of everyone, most of his albums, I think, are strongly, you could say there's a playlist type feel to it. This album, I thought he was very strategic and streamlined in what he was going to talk about. And to some degree, it could be a little bit repetitive. But for people that weren't in the know about what was going on for the last 2 years, I thought he spoke to everything. I thought he appropriately dissed the people that he needed to. I thought it was a show of... This was the show of the Drake that I saw back in 2024 when the beef was occurring. This was a rapper that was never going to back down. He's still going to continue to do what he's been doing, and he's going to consistently do it well. So it's like he was never going to stop dissing people. He was never going to stop trying to make the records. It's like at this point, it was just this was the pinnacle of y'all can't tell me shit because every time you guys have tried to tell me something to do, you've all been collectively wrong.
Yeah.
And I think this is like all three albums putting it out, being daring enough to do that. I think we all haven't appreciated the 3 album spin yet, but Iceman was definitely the icing on the cake.
Yeah. And I just liked like how you said it focused. It was like a lot of people, this is what I'm hearing. Of course, this I got to bring this up now. So a lot of people are saying Charlemagne, I saw a clip of Charlemagne going like, oh, Kendrick made him do that. To talk about, oh, his dad having cancer, him being more deep on this album, right? So he said that. And I think it was Joe Budden's podcast that also said something like that. Let me say this right now. It's competition. That's the point of competition. When you have, that's why nobody fucks with monopolies, because monopolies, they don't have to compete. When you are competing, the rival is supposed to make you better, vice versa. So, cool. If Kendrick did that, that's great for Kendrick. Great for Kendrick. That's my guy. And I feel like that's what Drake does to Kendrick, because Kendrick knew he couldn't always stay as a lyrical, miracle conscious rapper. He had to do the commercial. So I don't see what you guys are making such a big deal out of this for, but you can have that. It's one of those things that's what I hate about the narrative. It's always just like, yo, why don't you just stop being a hater? Like, stop being, that's cool. It was alright, but I would have done this. Like, the album was deep. He went into more stuff. I appreciate it. I was telling you, I like how he was talking about his race. I like how he brought up the stuff that you just saw a quick peek of maybe the racism he experiences, the stuff, the shade, the industry politics that he experiences. Like, again, Wickman on Scary Hours 3.
Yeah, white America says becoming a threat. Black America likes to remind me of what my mama looked like. It's everything that was said for the last 2 years, even down to the beef, was projected in 2023. Even that, and that's why I look at it, I'm like, they're like, oh, Kendrick made him do it. I don't think Kendrick made Kendrick do shit. I'm like, you like the dude because he was vulnerable. You like the dude because the entire time with Drake, and you know just as well as I do, you and I have been the most critical of Drake since Nothing Was the Same, because ever since that project, it was like there was a formula to Drake. You knew what the first song was going to be. You knew what type of music you were going to get. It was always this, to a degree, the same type of formula. And I felt like he only broke the mold once Dark Lane demo tapes came out. I was like, this is the Drake I like in particular. But I'm like, the vulnerability side, the dude's been telling you about his life for the last 16 years. He's the most vulnerable rapper. That's why you guys all have stuff to hit him with. So for them to say, I don't like, or Kendrick made it, I'm like, he made him do the thing he's been crying about for the last 15 years, essentially.
Yeah, I don't really see it. I don't see some of the critiques, but the like, to go back to me and the album, it just connected with me a lot more compared to his other albums because I was paying attention. Yes. That's what I love about Kendrick. I have to pay attention.
Yes.
Drake's
the lyrics
music gonna make me pay attention. And I like how he was like, no, you got to sit down and listen to this project. And that takes, surprisingly, that takes a lot from these people that are super commercial these days. They do the same thing over and over and over again because, oh, the numbers are saying this. Drake, it's like, all right, cool. He's a guy that he's keeping his ears to the ground. You could tell he's keeping his ears to the ground, and you could see that with every track with this. It's just, that was what I was a little bit disappointed with, because I thought, musically, like the sound, the production, I thought it was going to be more bangers on Iceman, especially from all the noise that was coming out before with all the leaks. I thought it was going to be more upbeat and shit, but it wasn't. It really wasn't. Like, it was, It was on some J. Cole switching to sleep type shit.
To me, I think there was a certain sound that he was going for.
Yeah.
With Iceman in comparison to the other ones, and I think it was simply because there was a lot that he needed to get off his chest. It reminded me, for me, I like the shit talking mafioso Drake. So Scary Hours 3, I thought was the back half. Those 5 songs were some of the best music I thought he put out in a very, very long time. So I felt like this project, when you listen to it production wise, it continued on with that. Because with the mafioso stuff, to a degree, it's not loud. It's very subtle. And I felt, this kind of reminded me of Jay-Z's type projects where it's like, yo, I'm going to talk to you some real shit. Yeah. I'm not trying to get you over with hype beats so that you don't listen to what I have to say. And I felt like this project was very much so. Yo, you're gonna listen to what I have to say. You can listen to all the other stuff. Yeah. I'm gonna give that to you too, but you're not gonna say that this album, Iceman, is bloated with a bunch of other songs. Yeah. It's like, hear me and hear me well. I'm done with a lot of y'all. Don't ask me for nothing. We've seen how this plays out, and more importantly, I'm staying number one and I'm staying on top. And these projects are gonna prove it.
Yeah. And just like, I gotta just give a shout out to Make Them Pay. Like, just that song is just it's so good. Like, even like you said, he just shit talking the whole album and it doesn't get old. Yeah. Like, all the lines are just like, they're just hitting because we experienced so much shit. Like, we were in the beef. Like, of course, guys, we were in this beef every time on Twitter. I'm opening Twitter to see when stuff is dropping. Of course, you're seeing people's reactions to this shit.
It was huge.
We're talking about it when we're together. So seeing what he's saying, it's really dope because you saw all the shit that people were saying. Like, you saw all the people turn on him, the podcast, the media. So it really goes into just like this story of how this whole shit played out. And now you're seeing the conclusion, because this really is now the conclusion. GNX was Kendrick's victory lap. Now Iceman is, I would say, the last chapter. I would say this ends things. You basically got to go your separate ways, or you kumbaya.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
I thought that whether they wanted to or not, or it's coordination, it's the way of social media. I'm like, every single person that hated Drake or was hating on Drake during these last 2 years, you literally gave him his confessions. You literally built up the hype for this to be Drake's confessions, and whatever numbers this album is able to acquire, especially in long term, because that's how streaming works. It's like you guys gave him all of the ammunition because you literally gave him things to talk about and to speak on in this album, especially in reference to what you guys have been saying for the last few years. So I'm like, if you guys were all part of this, I think it was a masterful job. If you weren't a part of it, I think that you just don't realize how social media, how like all of these things coalesce, because your hate is so focused. It gives somebody an opportunity to take that and flip it and become even bigger than what they are, because your hate was almost unfounded. How could you hate somebody that was literally breaking records and is essentially the most popular artist of all of your ilk? Yeah. Right? People will say that Drake has been an industry baby and he's been coddled, but anybody that knows the history of Drake knows that he has never really been accepted.
Yeah, I didn't know that shit until the beef. I actually did not know that shit.
People love his music. They don't love him as a rap, which is a weird disconnect.
I told you that. I told you that. You stole that from me. I told you that. I told you. I was like, yo, people love Drake's music, not him. It's fucked up.
Yeah. And I'm like, but where do you think the music comes from? Even down to, it's like, hey, right? The same things, the same critiques that you give to other rappers, you don't apply it to Drake. It's very,
like, you guys I love Kendrick, but you gotta call a spade a spade. You gotta call a spade a spade. Kendrick he's not the commercial guy.
Yeah, and that's
I don't want him to be the commercial guy. But let's not get things twisted. You can't be the number one rapper or the number one artist if you're not selling the records like at the level of these other acts. So that's one facet of it. But this is one of the reasons why we wanted to get back to it. It's just there's too much of this red blue, and it's like, nah, just listen to your music. Stop bringing the people involved with it. I don't know why you can't listen to Drake. I don't know why you can't listen to Kendrick, J. Cole, whatever. Nothing should have changed, especially when you grew up in that era. There's no reason why you shouldn't stop listening to these three guys. There's no reason.
I'm like, I still listen to the Fall Off from time to time. Like, not like my love for the music hasn't changed because for what? When did the music just become all of it just become bad to me? This choosing sides, it's to me again, it's an internet phenomenon that bleeds into real life. That's how I feel. It's internet hive mind thinking that bleeds into real life, that you think you have to choose from three rappers that you've been listening to since 2009 or prior. I started listening to Drake in 2008. I'm like, J. Cole, I think it's around the same time. I found out shortly about the warm up, and then I went back and listened to Come Up. Kendrick, I started listening to in 2011 or 12 with Section 80.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you have this long history. Why would you just switch up if they're still making great music?
It's weird. But let's quickly rattle off the three songs that we've been listening to. That I wouldn't say favorite, because I'm actually still trying to figure out my favorite right now. But right now, because that this shit changes for this album. I think that shit's gonna change. But what are your three?
My top three right now, gotta go with "Whisper My Name." That shit is hard. Although I don't agree with what he did with the beat drop on the second verse. I'm like, well, why you do that? It's just like, what did I miss? I'm like, why'd you start with that first beat? And
I like the first beat, and what did I miss?
I'm like, he's cutting off the best beats, and this isn't the first time he's been doing this shit. I think he did that on another project with
he messed up the beat on Hours in Silence.
I'm like, I get it, but I'm like, yo, let the shit rock. I'm a person where I'm like, yo, do at least let the beat rock for two verses. The third, then go do that. You're cutting yourself at the knees when you do that. So "Whisper My Name" is top for me. Then "Make Them Pay" is second, and then interestingly enough, the third, I'm oscillating back and forth between Lil Birdie and "Burning Bridges." Like that shit, the Lil Birdie, I like the flow on that song, and I think I always listen to Drake's lyrics, and sometimes I start thinking, I'm like, oh, well, there's probably something based off of what he's saying here.
Yeah.
There's something that's gonna come out, and obviously, when you hear about the industry stories with these guys, there's always a girl involved.
Yeah.
Somebody telling pillow talking and telling secrets.
Yeah.
That it seems to be a running theme between all of these rappers and their beefs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's something might come from that. And then "Burning Bridges," I loved it since I saw the video with them talking shit. Is like, it was like, it was fun. That was all right, talk your shit, throw it out there. But yeah, no, solid project to me. I'll definitely go back to it more so than some of the other ones. And this is for somebody who didn't hate For All the Dogs. And yeah, I saw y'all out there. I remember 2023. That shit didn't come out until like 6 a.m. in the morning because everybody was waiting for the midnight drop. And then 6 a.m. in the morning, less than a few minutes later, a bunch of y'all on Twitter were posting that this was the worst album. It's like, how the hell did you listen to an hour and something project before it even in full, when it just dropped? It's like, the gig is up. The jig is up, bro. A lot of us have been watching the media moves.
I even saw some reactions with this album. They said it was the greatest of all time. I'm like, how the hell did you listen to three projects?
You remember some people were like, "Oh, we listened to it on stream." Hey, you're not listening to it in order. You don't have the lyrics in front of you. You're listening to it the first time like everybody else. How the hell you make a judgment call on an album that you didn't even hear the full thing on? But it is what it is. I like Iceman. I think Iceman. I don't know if he's going to drop another project this year. There's a rumor about that, but we'll see where Iceman does in the long run.
So I gotta go with "Make Them Pay" as my number one right now. The sample alone, I love that sample. And then it just like I just like when I still love when Kendrick and Drake go back and forth. I just love when they go back and forth because their bars are just like that gut punch every single time.
Yeah.
Like that, the line that he has always makes me laugh. He's like, and "Make Them Pay." He's like, not "Make Them Pay." My second song, Janice,
Janice.
shut the fuck up. I love that hook, bro. I love that hook. But it's like I think it's Janice. Is it Janice? It's got to be Janice. The one where he's like, "White kids listen to you because they
yeah.
That one.
That's the one with the hook that stays in your head.
Yeah. So it's like those two. I feel like he just hit the pocket. He just hit the pocket the most with those two songs, and Janice is just very catchy. It just very methodically catchy. I just love that one. The third one now, it's a little bit hard.
You better not say shebang.
It's not shebang. It's not shebang. It's what's the song with him in 21?
Oh, Bees on the Table.
Bees on the Table. Yeah, Bees on the Table is a good one. Is a good one. I like when him in 21 collab. I think that fits a little bit better than Future. I don't think I'm a big Future fan. I'm not the biggest Future fan. I don't like when Future and him link up. I never liked when Future and him linked up. I'm not a fan of "What a Time to Be Alive" like that. I think Future sounds bad. When he's with Drake, he doesn't sound as good. That's to me. I know a lot of y'all are thinking I'm crazy, but I just don't like how Future sounds with Drake. I like 70% of what Future puts out when he's on his projects or featuring. So that's just me. But I didn't care for the Future song. I still think Future
I
shouldn't have been.
One.
I don't get how they linked back up, but I guess that academics inside news was correct.
I looked at me. I'm with you. I don't like "What a Time to Be Alive." I have a few songs off of that. I didn't like that collab project by them either. But I liked all of their other projects together.
Other singles.
All other singles. So like used to that. Used to. I've been a big fan. Always been a big fan of that one. "Life is Good." Like "Wait for You." I've liked a lot of their projects together. Like I listened to "I'm on One" like every couple months. So for me, Future and Drake, I think they do a good job together. But that "Run to Atlanta" song, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it was kind of too much. Like, we heard. It's kind of like, this one wasn't. You didn't need to address.
I looked at that one as contract obligation. To me, in my mind, that's what. I don't know if it's true. That's what makes sense to me. I'm like, y'all had to do this together, huh? This was the one y'all had to do together. So I don't foresee them working together really in that capacity. And I didn't. And from that song, I didn't feel the synergy that I normally would have felt. I was like, oh, y'all kind of did this separate. But that's the vibe I got.
All right, I mean, I guess we should, to close things up, we should mention Maid of Honor.
Maid of Honor. Hey, yeah, I got
cool for summer.
Like
I think
8 songs off of that.
You got 8.
Yeah, because
I just kept the project just to keep the project.
Yeah, I created a playlist. But for me, the reason why I looked at that one, I'm like, I always think about when I'm driving with people.
Yeah.
Especially if I got a girl in the car, you always want to have the songs that are, because my girl does not like listening to the rap shit. It's like, to put something else on. So it's like, I played Maid of Honor around her this weekend when we went away. And even there were songs that she was like, oh, I like this one. So I'm like, when I'm like, the dude has the air. He's always had the ladies. So you always want to keep that into account. That's why he's a multi-talented artist because you've never been able to box in Drake.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people don't understand about him as an artist. No glazing. It's just that he expanded beyond the rapper bounds.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that a lot of people don't like, because people have a tendency to be like, no, I only want you to do this one thing. Why are you going over here and trying something else? But whether you like it or not, he excels in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he excels great in it all the time, because there are songs on Maid of Honor and Habiti that I'm like, you doing the drawn out singing. It gets annoying to me. But I guess some people like it. Not me. Not me though. I'll tell you.
I like
I'll
the
tell you
popcorn
straight.
song.
Oh,
I like that one.
that one's cool. Hey,
Q&A.
Q&A's dope.
Q&A's
Hey,
good.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't turn off Cheetah Print. I listened to it in full because they have the dance. I want to see if they do the dance at the end.
Cheetah Print.
I know you don't like
It's
Sexy
like,
Red, but
bro,
I get the
it's-
Sexy Red thing. Like, to me, Sexy Red doesn't really bother me, because I'm like, to be bothered by Sexy Red is to pretend that there is not people that are like Sexy Red, and there's not people that enjoy music that Sexy Red makes.
Yeah, it's nah, I don't want to go into it. It makes me mad. I can't stand Sexy Red. I'm like, bro, all right. I'll let y'all. I get it. I completely get it. It's, again, Avatar. She's an avatar.
Yeah.
And I get it. You just fulfilling other people's dreams. I think that's a very
I think-
commendable, but
I think like there's for every lotto, there's a different type of For every Doja, like you can't have a Doja, you can't have Nicki, you can't have Remy Ma, you can't have who else? Samara Sin, and not have a Sexy Red. It's like rap has expanded. Rap has included different types of the culture, right? For the longest time, I'm just gonna say it included different types of people with different points of views for a very long time. And I see where the Sexy Red falls in line, because I see that she resonates with a certain group of women. Shit, y'all like it? Fuck it. Y'all like you like what you like.
yeah, this shit's stupid, but
I ain't know that, but if they like it, they like it. I'm cool with it.
all right. So now that the album is dropped, it's like GTA 6, right? Everybody, this is the most exciting time. We watch movies all the time. We are big entertainment fans. And so, like, I always remember Black Panther. I was, oh my God, Black Panther.
The hype was
Waiting
crazy.
for Black Panther was crazy.
Crazy, and Kendrick dropped the album too.
Yeah.
So it added to the hype.
So what I'm getting at is you're waiting, you're anticipating, you're excited. You have something every single day to look forward to when you're in it, when it's something you love. So now when it drops and you experience it after, sometimes I'd be feeling empty a little bit. You're like, damn. So now I got really nothing. So with this album, paying attention to it the way that we have, it's like, what happens after Iceman now?
I think that is an interesting question, because I don't know how we're gonna feel when we look back at it. The dropping 3 albums in one night as a surprise. Remember, it's like, I think it was only like a few hours before the project actually dropped, there was a rumor online that there was a second album on the way. And when I saw that shit, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, we would have heard by now. And then to hear that it wasn't 2, it was 3. I don't know what that does for artists, because you had Chris Brown drop last week, and he had a shit ton of songs, right? And then there becomes you're putting out too much music.
Yeah.
But then as a rapper, it can't. Is there such a thing? If he drops another project later this year, is that such a thing? Especially when you're like, yo, he's only able to achieve what he's able to achieve because there's bot farms. Well, let's remove the bots from the conversation. What if we flood the zone, like the YouTube videos?
Yeah.
By putting out 3 albums, you flood the charts.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this does
in terms of what other rappers need to do in order to make attention for themselves, get ears on their project, and more importantly, do something as exciting as this.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like there's two parts to the question. It's like for what happens after Iceman, a little broad, but to make it a little more specific, it's like what happens to Iceman for after what happens after Iceman for Drake. Okay. So Drake, I would say that he could drop another album. I think he probably will drop something fall. I feel like he would drop some, at least another single, or he would hop on a feature. I don't think this is the last we'll see from him this year, because the album didn't give that vibe. You notice that? The album didn't give a vibe that he's leaving anytime soon, which is cool. So I think that's what's going to happen after him. But and this is why we're coming back. This is really bad for the music industry, not just hip hop. When we say this because we don't have new acts. And this is kind of like the wealth gap. If he really wants to shut down the charts, I really think he can. I don't really see what would stop him unless it's the label. And they would not put out his they would not put out his music. Because if they let him put out another album, think about it. We're about to enter the summer already. So he's going to take the summer, then the fall comes out. The fall is when it starts dying down. You need something new, you know what I mean? And then he comes out with another project that severely ruins things, because now maybe relationships get mended. So then I still think he'll be able to touch SZA. Not that type of way. Still be able to, still work with SZA, because TD already said that relationship has always been cool with them. So he's been able to run it. So again, to go back to my original point, I don't see the music industry being in a good position, and how AI can come in and take a lot of real artists away, because we don't have new acts. These new acts, if he puts out this shit, we saw the beef. The beef, what people don't want to realize, and I don't get how none of these new acts talk about it. Yo, you fucked my shit up. Yo, they put out 6 albums. They put out 6 songs. If you really break it down, this is the closest we'll get to a Drake collab. Drake and Kendrick collab album.
Yeah, I put
this
that
is the
shit
closest
together
thing.
as a collab playlist.
Like, for real, because you screwed over. They screwed over so many artists. They took everything.
Had to push their projects back. Had to keep quiet in the meantime while this was.
Yo, yeah, this is good for hip hop. This is real comedy. Remember that shit? Get that bullshit out of here. I thought hip hop was about to be is a sport. All of them they're like, no, these are the kings. These are big dogs. We can't do shit. We can't do shit about it. So I'm like, okay, we got artists that are being silenced. These new artists being silenced. They all talk about the same stuff. They don't have anybody that is really helping them get better, get more recognition. Everything is so scattered. It's real life shit. The wealth gap. It's really representing the wealth gap now, where it's only the big dog. If you're not selling 200 first week, you don't let that shit fool you, where you don't need to care about the album streams. You do need to care about you do need to focus on how much your album is selling. There's two types of economy. There's that, and then what you talk about all the time, just your popularity. And if you're trying to be a musician, if you're trying to do that, you need to find a way to do both. But I'm not going to lie, that shit seems cooked right now, because there's too much shit in the world. There's too much. You need to have a gimmick. You need to actually be talented. You need to have something to say. But then you're also competing with the likes of Drake, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, because right now we're in an era where you need to have a brand built, and we've had a few conversations about it. Where my thesis is, all of these musicians need to become content creators first. The music is secondary. The reason why Drake, to a degree, even though it was bullshit, they were like, "Go away." He never went away. He was still releasing projects right after the beef happened. But I think what's happening is these artists, they're gonna have to promote themselves in different ways, and the music becomes like a lead magnet to the artists. That's how they're gonna make their money, because the music.
The mic.
Huh?
Mic. There we go.
Yeah. I think the projects themselves are now supplementary. Just to go back to Drake, it's like, what were we talking about in regards to Drake while the beef was happening? All they used to focus on was he was on stake, he was doing gambling, right? It was all these other things that they were talking about Drake outside of his music. And now that he has another project out, now it's back to the music. So I think, certain artists get the benefit of just talking, releasing a project and then disappearing. Most of you guys,
he's in a very good position.
Kendrick's able to do that. Most of you guys are not in that position to do that. So you need to be getting as much visibility on you as possible. And right now, you're seeing it with streaming and all these things. The paradigm has shifted. You cannot rely on the music industry the way that you once did. The music has dried up there. Remember, let's address this situation now. While this whole beef was happening, most of y'all didn't notice that these record labels had cut a bunch of staff, did a bunch of layoffs, did a bunch of reshuffling. The money isn't there the way that it used to be. Things have changed. So when you see musicians not popping, you're wondering why this artist hasn't blown up, why you're not hearing so-and-so songs, because it takes money to distribute it and get it into certain pockets. It takes money to get it on the radio. Songs don't just pop by themselves.
No. So what happens after Iceman is less excitement, more of the same stuff. And when I say by that, it's just going to be whatever you listen to, you listen to. There's not going to be another the guy in terms of hip hop. There's not going to be that. There's not going to be a big three anymore. And when it comes to outside of hip hop, because there's another thing that media likes to do, they like to blame hip hop for everything. There's not going to be the pop star like that. Taylor Swift is probably the last one. Sabrina Carpenter's going to come close. Yes, you could maybe say, I think it's too early. It's seeming like maybe this is her era. But when it comes to rivaling in terms of impact and reach and all this type of stuff, it's not going to be the same because there's so much stuff out there.
Yeah, there's so much stuff out there. I think everybody needs to realize, because there's so much stuff out there, it's why the stream numbers are what they are. I get that to a degree it's not fair, but when you have you constantly have new music being pushed out, old music, right? It's like the old music is what basically stays on the charts. So that's going to take up the most of my, because that's what people are listening to. I think people don't recognize it's like, I hate the argument, y'all need to just look up artists. It's like, okay, so that I can give them how many times do I have to listen to them for them to be able to make a living? I'm one person. So even that argument falls deaf on deaf ears. I don't know what artists do at this point, but they need to learn from this rollout. They need to try something, be unorthodox, be out of the box, because we haven't even gotten to AI yet. But I'm like, the era of that way of music is it's shifting, it's sinking, and we're moving into a new age that looks completely different than what we have.
And we're telling you, you don't know it yet, but all of us have been contributing to how AI can come in and replace these artists.
Yes.
If no one is paying attention to this. But our actions, how we listen to music, all of that plays a role into how AI can come in and take the lead. So if you don't want that, then you need to start paying attention to what's going on in music. Because again, after this album, what are you even excited about? Who are you excited about?
Really, really, like, who do you get, like, and even that, for me, where I see things going is, unfortunately, going back to your point with the pop star and being a bigger artist, I just see more. You can be big in your subpopulation, but don't expect the great heights that we had once seen. Like, even watching the Michael Jackson movie a few weeks ago, it's like some things are just once in a lifetime because of circumstances, luck, timing, who you are as an individual, who supports you. Like, there's just a lot that goes into that bag, and that's why we get these once in a lifetime artists.
Yeah.
Lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, so the impact, Iceman did his thing. Iceman for sure did his thing. It brought it.
And if Drake is doing things a little bit more dolo now, I think that should give inspiration to a lot of the artists that feel like they're simply under the thumb of the label, or there's not much that they can do. We've said it since day one. A lot of these artists, I don't know the inner workings about what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. I see a lot of laziness. We've been seeing a lot of laziness in terms of what you're capable. You guys have to find people. You have to think outside of the box. Technology has been evolving. Nobody would have been able to predict necessarily what speed has been able to accomplish. So it's, as an artist, you need to look around you and see the creativity and dig deep about what it is that you do in your art and how you can try to build community, continue to communicate with that community, and then more importantly, expand that community so that people will listen to your art.
Yeah. That's it's a very good point. Very good point. Like that, this started off happy. I was happy, but like now I'm starting to think. I'm like, damn, this album did come out.
Yeah,
The album came out. So
album's
now it's
out.
back to something else.
Yep, and that's the thing about music. It's like you can always go back to it later. One of the things I look at with uh, Drake's numbers and a lot of these songs with the streaming, it's they blow up. They don't necessarily we don't have to rely necessarily on first week sales. It's about longevity.
Yeah.
And you know that with his projects, what is this, his 14th or 15th album? This is going to add to the streams. That's why I'm like, nobody's catching up.
Yeah,
Nobody can
nobody's
catch up
catching
to
up.
this. It's
Because
game, set,
still
match.
Here and find your love.
Yeah.
I heard that the other day. I was like, God,
I was in a restaurant in
Shit.
Philly. They played like 4 Drake songs back to back. I was like, what
I
the
was
fuck is
like,
this,
bro,
Drake
find
night?
your love. I think that was 6th grade.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I was like, shit. Oh my God.
The dude has been a soundtrack for most people's lives, and I think that's where the disconnect is for me, is that it's almost, the hate is almost fake to some level, because if it wasn't true, and that's the matter, is like, if it wasn't true, then how the fuck do y'all know all of his songs? How do we all know his songs, and how does he continue to sell well? You've never heard about his tour. Like, the proof is in the pudding when it comes to Drake, and that's the thing that I want us to walk away with Iceman. I think that he's done everything that he needed to as an artist to date. I think has a proven track record, and I think that his level of consistency is what's going to continue to propel him forward. So I look forward to the next project. I look forward to what he has to say. I look forward to the disrespect, because I love that the most. I look forward to seeing what he is able to say after the lawsuit.
Yeah.
All right, I cut ties with my previous employer.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, if we got redacted shit that they forgot to black out for Microsoft and Blizzard and a whole bunch of other lawsuits, but we don't get any redacted shit from this lawsuit, I'm a flip out because the music industry, there's too much unhidden shit. That movies, tech, all these other big ass industries, shit gets leaked out, but music, nothing gets leaked out.
Stuff stopped getting leaked after the Diddy incident and Lucian Grange got mentioned initially. Mm-hmm. And then that was right before all of this whole beef started to cascade. And then the only other information we get is piecemeals of the not piecemeal. We get documentation somewhat from the lawsuit, but we haven't had anything since his last appeal. Yeah. And it's weird because my thing is out of storage. Okay. Yeah. I think. Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, but we better get something. I want the details on deals. Usually, what I mean by this is you get when their shit is redacted. I remember Epic Games versus Apple. You get insights on not just the artists. You get insights on everybody under that company, and you get to see how shit is how artists are really performing. So like streaming numbers, yes. We get to see real streaming numbers, botting, how botting can potentially work. Those are the type of things I'm expecting to come out from this lawsuit. So we'll see. That is actually what actually happens after Iceman.
Okay, yeah.
Jail.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah, I just think it's funny. It's like, all right, okay. Well, we get that. We get this information, and I think the aftermath of the lawsuit is what we see changes the industry completely. Because it will then determine what new rules are in place, what things were happening behind the scenes that we may not have been aware of, how the system has been working. I think for a lot of us, we've been seeing how different things that we believed in our lifetimes, the inner workings behind it. And I think this will be no different. And as a result, things are going to change. And it just happens to be when AI is coming.
Yep. So that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Iceman review.
Iceman review.
Iceman, Habiti, Maid of Honor. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go check it out. Add it to the playlist. Add it to whatever. Add a couple songs. Listen to it.
You'll find at least one.
Definitely go at your own pace. But I definitely, out of all the albums, you got to listen to Iceman straight through. Don't be a lame. Listen to that shit straight through and just rock out to it. Definitely worth the time. There's not going to be another album like this for sure. Not from him. And not from anybody else. There's not going to be another time where music has captivated me that made me stay up past 12 o'clock just listening to it. The last album I did this for was Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Both times I did this, I love both of these albums. So I'm happy this is going to stick around on the playlist for a long time.
Yeah, and again, we are not the biggest Drake fans. In fact, y'all made us have to start defending him after the shenanigans we saw. The slander got crazy. So if he does overperform, it's because y'all made him the underdog again. I don't know how the hell you did that.
I don't get how
how'd you make him the underdog, because you made the story about him having to overcome all of the shit that y'all were doing. Yeah. He started his heel era around I want to say Dark Lane demo tape. He became the bad version of The Rock. And now he's gonna I don't know. We'll see where this goes. But yeah, y'all with your K-Fab. All right. Cool.
Well, all right, guys, you just finished another episode of Understated. I hope you guys like the video. Please like and subscribe. We're gonna have some more coming at you. I'll see you guys soon.
Yep.
Peace.